Welcome, what is up? Thank you for tuning back into the Chaos Slayer. Of course, I am Chris Chaos, and this, of course, as you can see, is the 411 from Monday Night Raw from Green Bay, Wisconsin, if I can talk today. Had those problems all day. But not now. Not now. Because I have a lot to talk about. 10 minutes to do it in. I really want to start off with what we just saw at the end of Raw, but I'm going to try to wait till the end. Kurt Angle comes out at the beginning of Raw, talks about Survivor Series. It's Raw versus SmackDown. It's been done. I want them to get back to more of the 5-on-5 matches and leave the whole let's do Raw versus SmackDown, let's hit head to head, and I'm just overseeing that. I'm just, because we've seen it so much, not recently with the exception of last year, but just overall when we had the two brands battling, I just whatever. But that's what we're going to get. I mean, we're going to get Alexa versus Natty. We're going to get Baron versus The Miz. We're going to get the Usos versus The Shield, which I am very happy to see because I think that's a big money match. And then, of course, Jinder and Brock, which is not, but could be interesting. Of course, we're going to get a men's and women's 5-on-5 as well, which should be entertaining to see what different variables they'll go with. The Miz comes out, cuts a good promo on Angle, but you know, it sets up for the 6-man that they had, the Shield, AJ, again on loan from SmackDown, and then going against the Miz and the Bar. Phenomenal match. I mean, it was great. All 6 of these guys are just complete workhorses and just could blow anybody out of the water, but I mean, the Shield and Styles get the win, and I felt like the Miz should have got the win here, but then again, you know, the Miz is kind of a losing champion, if that makes sense. Like he's a champion that can lose constantly in situations like this, like he did last night. Thankfully, he didn't get pinned in this match like he did last night. Of course, it took. I throw no flag on how it ended last night just because it took all 3 guys hitting their finishers and then hitting that triple power bomb. So I threw no flags last night. Not going to throw one tonight. Kane just coming out after the match, destroying the 3 guys, and then staying in the ring. Promo, Finn Balor, I'm in. I thought while Kane was doing his promo, look, this would be like a great way for Demon Balor to come out unannounced or unadvertised or whatever. Which I'm not exactly like. If you're gonna do that character, I want it to be promoted that that's what's gonna happen. I don't want him to just randomly show up on Raw. But if he does, it's got to be done in the right way. Tonight could have been if they just brawled. Having a match, Kane beats Finn Balor, now it sets up, he can turn into the Demon King, and you have the Demon Kane versus the Demon King in some kind of brawl like next week or so. Just think about it. We move on. Shane and Kurt backstage, trash talking. Shane just wasn't supposed to be there, but apparently he was. Asuka and Emma rematch from last night. I have, in the past, and I will probably continue in the future, throw all kinds of flags when they do rematches the night after a pay-per-view. I don't love it. I never have. I never will. With exception. There were 2 rematches tonight. I understood both of them, and I throw no major flags on them because of how it went. With Asuka, you don't want to start Asuka into a feud with somebody else, and you don't want to put her against like Bayley or Sasha. Not yet. Not yet. Now, I don't know what we're going to do with Asuka until Survivor Series, but you know that she's going to be on that 5-woman team for Raw. As far as tonight goes, match with Emma, it was great. I mean, it was great. I think it probably wasn't better overall because of the anticipation of the actual debut of Asuka last night, but it was still really, really good. And Emma is just a fucking champ. I mean, come on. You can't watch her have those two matches with Asuka and tell me that she is not a great in-ring worker. You just can't tell me that because, excuse me, you'd be a liar. Elias with a serious dig at Aaron Rodgers, which I love. I love Cheap Heat. I love the cheapest of all heats, and that was it. Elias and JJ, after having a rematch after last night and the kind of messed up finish that they did, it was a DQ win. I guess you give the DQ to the win to JJ, even though it wasn't formally announced. Elias hits him with the guitar. I have a huge problem. I throw a major flag on them not changing out the guitar and not using a gimmicked guitar, because the chords on a regular guitar can do a lot of serious damage if you don't know what you're doing, or if something happens, it just timing's off, whatever. The way Elias hit him, he hit him more with the side of the guitar instead of the actual back of it, which probably saved Jason Jordan a lot of problems. I mean, that could be really, really bad. And to see the way that it came off, I think everybody got lucky. Brock and Paul, you know, Paul Heyman has these great promos. His delivery is always phenomenal, and the material is always good too. The problem I have with this is that it was too real. It was too real in the sense that, you know, Jinder is not seen as a legitimate WWE champion in most people's eyes. I feel like, and I don't like them. I think with Jinder, he just needs to be put over even more. I would have liked Paul, for Jinder's sake, to come out and say, you know what, it takes a lot of balls to step to the beast. It takes a lot of balls to go out on live national or worldwide television and say, I want the guy that has run through everybody, but we're still going to crush you. Something like that. Because let's face it, they're not going to put Jinder over clean here. It's just not going to happen. So we move on. Sasha, Bayley, Foxy, triple threat. Winner is the team captain. Foxy wins. You know, these three girls had a really good match. It wasn't like fantastic or amazing or phenomenal, but it was a good match. These girls put on, and Foxy proved that she can go. By the way, I'm very happy that Foxy finally got a t-shirt after, you know, almost or right at a decade anyway of being with the company. Now it's left up to Emma. Emma needs a t-shirt, and my WWE shop ban will be lifted. The 10-man was entertaining. I feel like we're going to get, I mean, the cruiserweights are just, those cruiserweights in particular, that's like the division. Corey Graves said that this is basically the division. It is. Kalisto and his Luchas won. I feel like something's telling me deep down inside that we're going to get a rematch, this exact rematch at Survivor Series, except for this time it's going to be 5-on-5 elimination. Stay tuned. SmackDown closes with a huge swerve. Or Raw closes with a huge swerve. SmackDown Live stars beating the piss out of all the Raw guys and girls. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night. I'm hoping that they'll wrap up the Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, or not wrap it up, but continue it, because you can't wrap it up. There has to be something going forward. I suggest maybe the Montreal Connection, as I'm calling them, versus maybe both of the McMahons. Let's think about that, shall we? Anyway, SmackDown should be good. Maybe Raw will invade tomorrow night. Who knows? That would, I mean, why not? Let's just have Raw invade too, or at least some of them, at least like the Shield. By the way, I will point out that I love how Dean and Seth were just kind of like perched, waiting on them to show up, and then just jumps on everybody. It didn't work, but it was funny. The sneak attack. I like the sneak attack. Anyway, with that being said, that's all I've got for the coverage of Raw. Come back here tomorrow night. I will have all things SmackDown Live on YouTube as well on my Twitter page at The Answer Chaos. Until then, deuces. Chaos out.